Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptamena Characharam Visualize the sun rising, the whole earth is illuminated with the light. Continues until evening. Then visualize the moon rising and the whole earth is illuminated. Akhandamandalakaram. Then the entire universe is illuminated. When my heart is illuminated, when my soul is illuminated, when my soul becomes full, like a full moon, the purity of soul leading to realization of self, the supreme Brahma, the supreme Atma, by which all the elements are illuminated. The sun which shines outside also the same sun shines inside. The moon which shines outside shines inside. Every part of the universe is affected and touched. So is my universal body. That every part of my body and senses are touched and nourished by sun and by the moon. How the sun and moon radiates the light, very supreme, radiates by which power the sun and moon shines. So is my Atma, by that supreme, my Atma is illuminated. Shines where all the impurity dissolves. Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Ram Siya 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 Ram Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Ram Siya 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 Ram Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Siya Mangala Bhavanaya Mangala Hari Ram Bhavana Amangala Hari Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram Ram Siya Dravahu so Dasaratha Ajar Bihari Dravahu so Dasaratha Ajar Bihari Ram Siya Ram Siya Ram 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 Siya Ram. Although we have invoked the Ram energy, but actually when it comes to playing holy, it is Krishna who does that. Ram was considered Maryada Purushottam. He did everything according to law. He never broke any law. Whereas Krishna broke every law. So contrast between Ram and Krishna is so vast. Yet both incarnations considered full incarnation. Complete Godhead. Nothing lacking. Like full moon. Tonight you will see the full moon. And full moon is complete. Radiates the Amritam, is called radiating the Amritam, nectar of immortality, nectar of life. Affecting every creature and every element and aspect of creation. As the moon is powered by sun, without sun there wouldn't be moon. Without moon wouldn't be ocean, water, and without water would not be earth. And without earth would not be any creation. So that, and without that supreme radiation or supreme light, sun would not shine. And that supreme dwelling in your heart. That's why we meditate. we go eternal, internal. That's why we withdraw from the outside world. That's why we search within. That's why the Sutakshan waited for Ram to come and he wouldn't come. And climbed the tree to look, because he was promised that on his journey he would stop and give him the darshan. And he climbed up and down, waiting wholly. He didn't see Ram. And finally he said, okay, I have a different method. And then he went inside into Samadhi. Samadhi of yogi is very powerful. And Samadhi of Shiva is most powerful. When Shiva takes Samadhi, nothing can disturb. And calm tried to disturb the Shiva, because Shiva was in supreme Samadhi. And calm was instigated by all the gods. That Shiva has gone into the supreme Samadhi and you don't know when he's coming back. Creation is stopped. In order to continuity of creation, Shiva has to wake up and start creation. And calm tried by influenced by all the gods. Calm, who overestimated that he is supreme, that no one is spared, no one is beyond him, that he can activate. He can move the energy of every creature. It's all biological creation. If you look at the plant, all the animals, how biologically it is all created. Pollen, now spring is coming and you will find when you go to East Coast, the season of pollen, impregnating all the plant, creation starts. And that is something which is most powerful creative principle. But without Shiva, that creative principle would not work. And Kam thought it was if he can win over Shiva, then he is the supreme, more than Shiva. And overestimated, praised by all the gods, influenced and affected by the gods, he decided to focus on Shiva. You have mentioned in your full moon message. And as Shiva was above and beyond. Yet, little irritation, you are in meditation, a little creature bites you. Tiny creature, tiny mosquito, insect. How you feel? You wake up in meditation, and from meditation you can crush the creature. A creature has no any existence. And then overestimating the calm. If he can win over Shiva, then and that is then he tried. And then third eye of Shiva was open. And one small rays of Shiva was enough to turn into ashes. One tiny rays. How dare he? Such is the power, such is the force, energy. of Supreme. And then calm, the very creative principle, was destroyed. So the question was, if the creative principle is destroyed, then the whole world, whole creation is destroyed. How to continue the creation? That was the question. So it's called, it is also highly symbolic, of course. The wife of Kam, the Rati, pleaded with the Shiva that how can you, then you have no, I have no, my husband is gone, my partner gone, and how can I continue any work on earth? And then Shiva says, all right, from today, now onward, he realized that indeed creation cannot continue. That balance is disturbed in creation. This biological balance is totally disturbed by destroying the calm. And so he said, all right, I restored the calm, and now onward, calm will dwell every minute in every creation, every creature, and is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. And then creation was complete. And that is one of the aspects of Holi, when this celebration of calm, when calm is restored, is a spring celebration. Highly symbolic. The spring is life. Restoration of calm back to every creature is a restoration of life, creative principle. And that is celebration of Holi by sprinkling the color. Of course, those days the color came out of flowers. Now it's all distorted and color is chemical color. Sometimes they throw mud on each other and all sorts of. And nobody minds today, the holy day, and everyone is joining in the celebration. That is one aspect of full moon Holi today. There are so many other aspects, which there are so many different stories. And that is time and again overcoming your own weakness. Why celebration? Why there are so many celebrations? Apart from eating all sorts of sweet meat. What is the purpose of celebration? Is the celebration is supposed to remind you your reality, your supreme reality. Otherwise you forget. Someone has to remind you. If you are in ashram, the guru will remind you. If you are in temple, the devotee will remind you. But if you are not in ashram and not in temple, who will remind you? And these great celebrations are there to remind you your true nature, so you don't get caught into unreal, prevalent situation. How hard it is to derail yourself. How easy to derail yourself, how hard is to restore yourself. We see time and again. And once you have derailed yourself, it's very difficult to put back your train on track. Takes long time. And so the festivals are a reminder of our status, who we are, what we are. And this holy and full moon, highly symbolic. The fullness of your heart, fullness of your mind, fullness of your soul. It doesn't matter the accident can happen in your life. It doesn't matter that you fall, as long as you stand and walk again. So these festivals are there to remind and to remember the true nature of your true self. And that is something which quite often we forget. And forget the sort, although one should not forget, because the mind, the constant awareness, the vivek should be always there to remember what is true and what is not true. But when vivek is somehow absent, it's like many times in India they call it supervisor. If supervisor is not there, the worker will say, never mind, supervisor is not around, so let's relax and have tea. Very presence of supervisor is enough. That very presence of supervisor, the worker will know the supervisor is around, so let's work. Not have tea break. In England, they had very good concept, Bobby on beat. So every morning the Bobby, the policeman, walked on the street. And very presence of policeman gave the message to wrong element, keep away. We are here. When that tradition somehow closed, then crime started increasing. Because the criminal, they thought there nobody is to watch, so they have field day. So the people started demanding that Bobby on beat should be back. Your Bobby on beat is your vivek. If vivek is missing, then there will be havoc in your system. So restoration of vivek is very important. That vivek is restored in your system. So whatever you do, there is a balance. This is today is a special full moon, especially when there is a combined with the holy. Holika Dahan. Holika was another female who used by the demon brother to destroy the Prahlad. The Prahlad, a great devotee of Vishnu. And the very king of that kingdom was a demon. He did not recognize that other than him is anyone greater. And Prahlad knew the truth, so he kept talking about Vishnu. And this demon king, he didn't want to recognize there is any other than him. You see the ego. Ego is one of the things. There are three kinds of blind in the world. The blind is not only those who do not have sight. In fact, those who are blind, those who don't have sight, they have more insight. Some of the greatest scholars have been the people, those who had no physical sight. Greatest scholar. They were a great exponent. Because when you do not have sight, physical sight, then the inner sight is much more active. And whatever you hear, it becomes part of your memory instantly. You are not distracted by eyes. Surdas was one of the devotees of Krishna who wrote a beautiful bhajan. And he writes, मेरो मन अनत कहाँ सुख पावे, मेरो मन अनत कहाँ सुख पावे, जैसे उड़ी जहाज को पंछी, पुनि जहाज पे आवे, मेरो मन अनत कहाँ सुख पावे. My mind will not rest anywhere else. Where else can mind be relaxed except at your feet, oh my beloved? That is Surdas. His bhajan. Mero man anat kaha sukh paave. There is no place where my mind can rest in peace except at your feet. जैसे उड़ी जहाज को पंछी, the bird sitting on the boat, the big boat, and flies, that bird flies looking for another boat, but there is no other boat there. There is no other boat, there is only one boat. So flying in the sky, vast ocean, doesn't see anywhere else, so comes back to the same boat. You are my boat. You are my big boat. Where else my mind can go except to come to you? Mero man anat kahan sukh paave. Where else can I have peace and bliss except with you? That was Surdas. Beautiful bhajans, beautiful songs. And he has no physical sight. And he sang, and he sang, and he sang. He didn't care whether he didn't sing for anyone. He sang for himself. Then people heard and they gathered. And the birds sat there listening. The dog, the cat, the lion, because that time India was 95% forest. They all came to listen. Beautiful, melodious bhajan. Power of meditation, that is a meditation. The song is meditation. The bhajan, when you invoke your beloved in your heart. Come and take your place. When you purify your heart, when you purify your mind. When you clean your soul, when you do everything to welcome your beloved. And that is the meditation. Preparation, waiting, arrival of your beloved. So, sight is very important, divine sight. So those who do not have physical sight, they are not blind indeed. There are three kinds of blind described. Madand, Kamand, one who is blinded in lust, desire. In order to fulfill the desire and the lust, he or she does not see anything except the lust, desire. Dhanand, one who is blind in the wealth. When you have wealth, power, money, political power, money power, you are so blinded that you can you can buy anyone, you can have anything. That's another kind of blindness, when you are intoxicated in the possession of power or wealth. And the most dangerous blindness is a blindness, madand, the ego. When you are deluded, when you have such ambition, when you want to control everything, control freak. Everything should be controlled by you. And when you have such a big ego, then one is blind in that ego. The three kinds of blindness. Not one who has no physical sight. The true blind are those who are in three categories. That's why the light is important. Sun does not shine by itself. Sun shines because of supreme light, supreme self. Moon does not shine by itself. Moon shines because of the sun. The water does not activate by itself because of the moon. And water affects the earth. And earth creates life. And earth has gravity. Earth is mother. Earth is female. And she wants to hold it, not let go. Letting go is not her choice. And that is at a very natural. I was in Delhi, and early in the morning I got up and I saw in balcony where I stayed, a monkey, mother and the baby monkey, and all sleeping like this. And I took photo. And who tells this mother that she has to protect that baby? That mother, monkey mother, didn't learn anywhere. That power, the instinct, the creative power, it is all instinct and intuition. There are two forces in you. And when you have instinct and when you have intuition, and combination of both can create a greater strength. And when you have vivek, of course, like a sun shines, moon shines, and the knowledge shines, how can you make mistake? How can you harbor hatred? How can you have any negative feeling? How can you not love? How can you, once you love someone, you cannot love? What makes you not love once you love someone? So these are the holy, that demon king wanted to destroy Prahlad. And Prahlad, because he was devotee of Vishnu, and he would not recognize his father, the ultimate power. And so he asked the daughter to take Prahlad in the fire. And she had a boon. She cannot be burned. And so when she tried to hold him, to burn him, she burned and he was saved alive. Sometime it is interesting. The Ravan built Lanka, the kingdom, his kingdom, by gold and diamond. And the gold and diamond cannot be burned. But Hanuman decided to turn into ashes. A golden Lanka, Ravan kingdom. And they all turned into ashes. So when the Ram came back, you can also say that Holi, celebration of Holi. When Holika was, then it was because she was not married, so was celebrated in her honor. And the victory of Prahlad over the demon king was a celebration. But the most fascinating celebration was in the Krishna, when he played the Holi. And that is a very mystical experience, playing Holi with your soul. Because these gopis, they are not ordinary human beings. They have incarnated to join the Ras Leela on the full moon and to celebrate the Holi. They are not ordinary mortals. They have joined, incarnated. They have taken shape and sizes to join the great grand celebration of Holi with the Krishna. And that is most famous Holi in Vrindavan and Braj, 84 course, which is one course is 2 miles. So that 84 course they call Kosi Parikrama. So they walk and they celebrate Holi. And that is full moon, that shines inner. The yogini celebrate Holi by invoking their own inner energy. There are 84 major yoginis. And one day I will explain you about them one by one. 84. And great yogini, 84 yogini. Like a 30 Rishika. Rishi and Rishika. Those has been sage, male sage called Rishi, and female sage called Rishika. 30 Rishika. And they wrote 30 Upanishads. This 30 Rishika. Similarly, there are 84 yogini. And there are 84 path of yogini. And that is very mystical experience. So mystical that one has to, it is not even discussed when one has not qualification to enter into that yogini field. And so the yogini supposed to play Holi with the soul element, a cosmic Holi. When the merger of body, mind and soul, when 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 layer becomes one, when they are all united, not divided, where they are all united, and that is becomes a totality of final achievement of the human endeavor. So the Holi has many, many different meanings and many purpose. And today when you go to sleep, then you should at least go out and 5 minutes get the energy from the moon. Because tonight full moon is not ordinary full moon. Supposed to provide the nectar and energy which will help you to understand and heal. That Mangal Bhavana Mangal Hari, removing all the obstacles from your life, all the pain and all the suffering, Mangal Bhavana. That removing all the pain and suffering and ignorance, restoring peace, happiness and bliss. Such is your energy and such is your name. We just chanted and try to invoke that energy. So tonight when you go to sleep, then you go out and this mudra and you ask that you have energy, special energy to restore in your body and your senses, in your mind, so that you are never out of right track and never fall, and therefore they never invite any pain and suffering. But that energy will restore your back to your original blissful state of your consciousness and your mind. So that one mudra that you exercise tonight before you go to sleep. And then, of course, and understanding that the creation and the meaning of the light outside. The light outside is not ordinary light. That reflection of light inside. Removal of darkness and restoring the light, restoring the joy, happiness and bliss. That's the idea. It is believed that when today in the full moon of not only the Krishna plays holy and the Shiva also has a holy in Kailas, his hometown. And all the creature, it's said that all this ghost and spirit and all these souls, they join in the holy, in midnight holy, with the Shiva. Because Shiva is supposed to be representing all creature, demons, everyone, not only the good one, but also the bad ones. So the midnight full moon, they all gather to celebrate Holi, and all the element, whether it's a ghost or spirit or demons or just you can imagine, they all come in harmony to play Holi. Normally they would attack each other and kill each other. But one night, in the holy time, in the full moon time, well, all the creature, adverse to each other, they all come together to play Holi under the Shiva protection. And no one is violent. And no one is supposed to be violent. And they're supposed to forget all their animosity when they are in the holy time in the Shiva jurisdiction. And that is very unusual, that the only God who unites all the creature bad and good, is the Shiva. So that's another aspect of holy, that they all forget their animosity and hatred and dislike and long-standing whatever grudge, and they unite to celebrate the celestial, blissful state of consciousness, just as well, at least once a year. So that is very interesting aspect of Shiva, which I wanted to tell you. There, of course, there are so many aspects of holy and full moon, this full moon and holy. And of course, from tomorrow, the new year starts. It's called Sambat. Vikramaditya. The Vikramaditya was the great king who ruled the kingdom according to dharma. And he used to travel in the night to check that in his kingdom everything is working fine. And there's a lot of a story about the Vikramaditya, King Vikramaditya. Sometime maybe you should Google and find out what. Although I don't totally rely on Google, but at least they give you some idea of. And actually Google helps quite a lot when I travel, and people, they always want to know where you come from, where your family, your millions of questions they have. And they bombard with the questions. They want to know everything. Where I was born, where I was brought up, who father, who mother, who this, that, the whole history they want to know in such a short time. And I'm so overwhelmed with the question. I don't know which one to take first. So I asked, why don't you Google Svami Purna? So in this respect, Google has been very helpful. So I said, Google me, and then still if you have some question, we will talk about. There is also site, you can send the message. I will get the message. So it has been very good. At least the Google has tried to give you some information, not comprehensive, but at least some. People always want to know a story. And it is, perhaps I should collect all the story and put together. Because they love a story and they like a story. So this, the fascinating aspect of this world is that when we are open to understand the aspect of creation, then we are presented with unfolding secret treasure. But our mind has to be open. If we have preconceived ideas and if our mind is blocked, then it is difficult to understand the aspect of what manifests time to time. And when one has a mind open and ready to receive, and then energy somehow is flows the energy in your heart, in your mind. Of course, it's a troubled world, and we are part of this world, and we cannot escape that trouble because we are part. After all, it's a collective consciousness, and we live in collective consciousness, and we are affected by collective consciousness. But you can reduce the suffering by your own understanding of creation and what's going on. Sometimes a storm is bigger than it looks. But if your mind is not stable, then a storm can be million times bigger. If mind is balanced, then the very storm which looks so huge can reduce to a small storm. So the perception of mind, and these are the times when it reminds us of the meaning and purpose of what we are and who we are and where we are going and what is our purpose. And these are the, as I said to you, that these festivals and these happening are there to remind time to time, because we forget. We forget so quickly. It's like a one little bit you forget and disaster can happen. If you are a pilot and if you forget one little thing, you can bring the danger of lives of so many. If you are driving car and if you make mistake, it can cost your life or your health. So they are everywhere, that danger is everywhere. But when you have vivek and when you have knowledge, danger can be reduced to very minimum and it becomes manageable. But if a mind is troubled mind, then troubled mind can create more trouble. And that is why it is very important. As I said to you, if you are in ashram and in temple and mutt and peat, there are preceptors who will remind you. But if you are not there, then someone has to remind you. And someone is who is someone? These festivals, this celebration, this knowledge.
Gopal